All you geniuses listen to this podcast, you're beautiful. But if your friend don't listen, fuck them. Bitches.
You are now stepping to the ledge.
Now recording.
Welcome everybody back to another episode of The Ledge. I am your host, Ken Bro, and I am here with the peoples. Two countries. Say what's up to
Hello.
the people.
What's going on, y'all? White skin fever over here.
Okay, Quiet Storm. G, say what's up to the people.
What's cracking, people? Come to the ledge if you want to hear dick jokes.
The local hero. Say what up.
What up, everybody? It's local hero, a.k.a. the Vice City villain.
So you the Miami villain? Okay.
So how you a hero and a villain? How you a hero and a villain?
I'm the black people hero, the white people villain.
I like that.
Okay, we can accept that. We'll take that today. But anyway, today's episode is about mental health relationships. And with us today, once again, is our friend Danielle. Say what's up.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Everybody's fine, I guess.
Yeah, voice
With your fairy tale voice and shit. Sound like you get for a fairy godmother.
What, too much? Okay, hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
There we go. Let that Southside Chicago out. Who playing?
Hello. Mrs. Doubtfire ass hello too. Remember Mrs. Doubtfire when they came in? Everyone was in the refrigerator and he splashed his face in the cake. Was like, hello.
Oh, wow.
Fuck
You
ain't
fools
English.
are crazy. Yeah. So we're here to talk about mental health within relationships. We're gonna let our guest Danielle start off the conversation. What you think about, mental health while being in a relationship?
As a person who suffers from mental health, I have depression and severe anxiety. It can be a challenge, and you have to be honest with yourself and your partner in order to have a successful relationship. As in, communication is key. Talking about how you're feeling, basically just expressing, when I need you and okay, I need some space. And sometimes for some people that can be difficult.
G Wayne, what's your take?
And it's a lot when you're dealing with mental health and relationships. You dealing with, everything. You got your basic relationship shit. So you got your age differences and things like that. And then you're talking about this on top of all of that. And when you're dealing with somebody with mental health, one of the first things to understand is whether or not they or you even know that there's a mental health issue involved. From the outside looking in, I've watched people be in relationships with each other, not even realizing that both of them had mental health issues. And I've seen people with mental health issues be in relationships and it seemed to look perfect, So I've seen it from all around. Depending on what those mental health issues is, then that's where that, like what she said, that honesty comes into play. But you got to realize that some mental health issues, honesty is the problem. So when you're dealing with things that are on that bipolar spectrum area, where you got the schizophrenia, the bipolar, like those type of things, these things set people to lie knowingly and unknowingly, depending on what they're trying to get accomplished. And when you're dealing with that, then it's kind of hard to be in a relationship when a person is lying or not being honest for all of the wrong reasons that they think are right. It just cause all these ripple effects, and you just watch the dominoes fall as you try to pick them back up.
Local hero, what's your take?
Okay, so first, let me be honest. I haven't been diagnosed with any mental issues, but just dealing with me. God damn, I'm an asshole. Like, I realized sometimes I'm hard to deal with. Jeez Louise. But
At least you know that much.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be like she said. You got to be honest, and I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Because knowing that is a lot.
A lot
Go
of
a long
people
way.
want to. A lot of people won't admit to it, so I need to ask people how the fuck it feel dating me. God, fucking. But you know what? I'm old enough to know now who I am. I think that's another thing a lot of people don't understand, and not just with the mental issue, the mental aspects of it, but a lot of motherfuckers be dating and they don't know who they are as well. So that's another thing. But like, when it comes to the mental aspects of it, I think it's best if you sit down and you explain to each other what's going on with you two, and maybe you can like look up the what's the words I'm looking for. Look up the symptoms and everything that comes along with it, which would better prepare you to deal with what I'm saying, being with them. But if you have a mental issue, don't just pop up in a relationship and just spring it on somebody, because people sometimes aren't ready for that.
Yeah, that's true. To country, what you got to say, man?
I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. There's a lot of people out there that's hiding a whole lot of their mental illnesses, and you never know about it until all the shit hit the fan. So one thing that I would like for people to start doing is being their true self, express what they really are. Because some people can accidentally say something in a relationship, and the other person can shut down and not even want to open up to their spouse, and they can hide that, and that could be a bad thing to do. You try to suppress her feelings because you're scared of how the other person going to judge you. So I would say, if you know you got a mental illness, I think the spouse deserves to know. There's going to always be problems in the relationship. That's what I
That's
think
true.
about it.
That's true. That's definitely true. So
That
Hold on.
sometimes leads to another problem right there.
Yeah.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
Am I going to be the one going in the left field? Because Ronnie, that was a very intelligent answer right there.
Thank you, man.
So who's going in the left field with me, though?
Yeah, it's
I'll
Kenneth.
take that.
okay,
I'll take that jump.
Okay, cool. Cool. That was a good answer, though.
look at it in a different way. So what do y'all think, as far as entering a relationship knowing that you're mentally fucked up versus taking time out, for yourself to get your shit together before you bring somebody else into your world? Danielle, what you think about that?
From personal experience, I did what you just said. I just noticed a pattern of me dating because of, me trying to fulfill a need because of my mental illness, because I felt inadequate as a woman. So I made a lot of really not so wise choices when I was dating. And like my final traumatic relationship, I had the depression and anxiety, but the guy I was dating, he was schizophrenic. So in that relationship, I suffered a lot of, mental and emotional abuse. And at that point, it's like, okay, you keep going through the same thing over and over. Why don't you take some time out to really figure out who you are, what you need, what you will accept and what you won't accept? And I was single for almost 5 years before my relationship I'm in now. And in that time, it helped me with my mental health. And okay, when X, Y, and Z happens, you need to do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I think just taking time and, getting in touch with you definitely helps in a situation like that.
Yeah, because
If that makes any sense.
that makes a lot of sense. Because you got to at least know yourself and be in tune with yourself to understand your want and needs. When it comes to your mental health and your maintaining a relationship, stuff like that. Because you can't bring anybody in on your problems, especially if you don't open up and explain to whoever you decide to deal with on that level. Um, what you're going through or what feeling like or whatever, because those type of stuff that just fuck both parties up within inside of the relationship. So Like you said earlier, communication is the key. Also knowing oneself is the key. You know that there's a pattern of like whatever you're going through, and you keep repeating the same pattern. It's like sometimes you just need to step back, and evaluate yourself. Or you can get an outside view if need be. Somebody you trust or a therapist or whatever the case may be. But you always want to make sure yourself is centered when entering a relationship. If you feel like if you in a relationship and you get off center and you feel like you need to step back from the relationship to get yourself together, I think you should be able to do that, and your spouse should allow you to, take a step back from the relationship to get yourself together. Because in order to grow together, y'all both got to be mentally right. And y'all both got to support each other at the lowest and the highest. So if you're not allowed to heal, if somebody don't allow you to heal and you don't allow yourself to heal, then things ain't gonna be right. So the local hero, what you got to say, as far as making sure yourself is right.
I mean, you got to ask yourself the honest question: are you really prepared to go through what you're going to go through? Because if you're not going to be there for a long run, if you're just going to dip on them, they don't even get in a relationship. Like, don't even like get their hopes up that it could be a relationship. And once you're into that relationship, you got to realize it's going to be some times where that person needs you, and you got to be able to, and they got to be able to talk to you. It's going to be some times where they just don't want to be bothered with you. You got to accept that. So you got to accept both sides of the coin as well. I'm trying to think how I can say this. When it comes to you, though, you also have to be able to retreat into your own sanctuary, if that makes sense, because it could be stressful upon you. So you got to have some place where you can go, or some type of like fortress of solitude where you can just be alone and be, what I'm saying, get yourself together. And I think a lot of these any regular people to any relationship, a lot of relationships don't have that, where you two have your own like sanctuary where you can just like get away from each other. Like, even if both of y'all are, and I'm using these air quotes, normal, because I don't know what the fuck normal is, but even if you two are air quote normal, you get tired of seeing each other every day, all day. Like I said, when we had this conversation, man, this COVID-19 showed a lot of people that they don't really like each other. And it comes to a situation where, like I said, if you can't get away from that and just be by yourself and be like, hey, I'll be back in a few, I'll talk to you in a few, whatever. I don't see the relationship being able to work, because sometimes you have to take time for yourself, and you can't take time for yourself in any relationship. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, to country. What do you think about making sure yourself is mentally prepared to be in a relationship?
Personally, I wouldn't want to be forced in nothing that shouldn't be forced. Some people feel like they're obligated to be in a relationship because they've been there so long. But if the same shit keep happening and you're not really, confronting your own demons, then you're the problem. You're the reason why things keep happening. So me, I would just be me 100%, because it's the only way you can be.
Only way you should be.
Yeah.
And nobody be you.
But
Yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay. G, what's your take on making sure your mental is together before entering a relationship?
Yeah, that goes with understanding. I mean, the whole thing about going into a relationship with a mental illness is understanding. Most people, especially in our community, either don't know or don't believe that anything's wrong with them. They just think that's the way they is, which is part true and part false.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just the way you are, but you still need to understand why, so you can understand how to not necessarily contain it, but how to hone it. You know what I'm saying? How to use it to your advantages, not only seeing the weaknesses of it, but find the strengths of it. So if you don't know this, then you're gonna go in a relationship. Motherfucker might just think you got a bad attitude. Motherfucker might just think you are cold-hearted. Motherfuckers might just think you're an emotionalist. A person might just think that, you know what I'm saying, you don't give a fuck. A person might just look at you like, wow, this person's really fucked up. How did I get myself into this? But that comes with lack of understanding. See, education is the key to anything dealing with mental health. Got to educate yourself. Like I was saying on the last one, my mom, she made me educate myself about my cousin so I can understand how to deal with him. You know, you get in a relationship and you know something wrong with you, it's best that both of y'all become educated on the situation. It's best that whatever is wrong with you, he or her need to learn that. They need to understand that. They need to see, you know what I'm saying, the causes, the effects. They need to understand all of that shit and vice versa. If you don't do any of these things, if you try to let all of these things bypass you, end up in a very weird relationship that somebody's eventually going to be like, fuck this. You know, everybody's going to start feeling like they feel, I guess, alone or whatever. Everybody's going to start feeling like that they're not in a relationship or you know, all of these things, they just trigger shit. And then it goes back to depending on where you are with these mental health issues. It's somebody for everybody, but not every mental health issue is going to allow you to be in any type of relationship, you know, especially for long term. Like if you are a person that your mental illness causes you to need to be by yourself for elongated periods of time, you need to be with somebody that's going to allow that. You need to be with somebody that's going to understand that. You know what I'm saying? But not understanding it like, oh, I'm just going to let him do him or I'm going to let her do her. It's understanding like, oh, I understand why this needs to happen, you know, in order for us to continue going forward. I would think that a lot of relationships with people with mental illnesses, I would think that they would lack that, you know. I talk to a lot of people on a spectrum and they talk about their relationships, you know what I'm saying, or lack thereof all the time. They talk about the reasons why they don't think they could ever be in a relationship. Some people talk about them trying to get in relationships. They talk about how they're being viewed by people they're trying to get into relationships with, because when you try to be honest and you tell a person everything up front, then you go back to the risk of not just judgment, but a person acting out on their judgment, you know? So that's up front. Let's say you get into the middle of a relationship and then something happens and then all of a sudden they find out you have a mental illness. Now you're dealing with judgment after attachment. And that could be worse than anything, you know? So it's just, there is no clear right or true answer to being in a relationship with mental illness. It's really just communication, education, and understanding. Like those pretty much the only ways you can make it through it on the real.
You're going to need some patience too.
Yeah, that's always a big thing to have. While you was talking, I thought of something that I want to ask. It's for everybody to answer, but I particularly, interested in what Danielle and G got to say. And my question is, when you having like, I guess for context, you call it an episode or whatever. Are you aware, that the stuff is happening? Is you like a prisoner of like your actions? Or is it just like an unconscious thing, and then later on, after whatever you're going through is over with, and then you are reflecting on what happened, or somebody telling you what happened, or are you fully aware and just can't control what's going on? You can start. I can start. Danielle, you can start.
I actually never gave it much thought to how you phrase that. For me, it's like when I know I'm having anxiety and I know I'm in like a depressive mode. I'm aware that I'm depressed or feeling anxious, but sometimes I might lash out. Sometimes I might have an angry outburst. sometimes I might just cry for, like something that's not that serious. So it could be a little bit of both, depending on what you're dealing with and, other, contributing factors like did I eat enough? Did I sleep enough? Am I in pain right now? Is it other conflict aggravating, my conditions? It has a lot of different factors. So for me personally, it's a little mix of both.
Okay. G.
Mine is a little different. For my first 30 years, I had no idea why things was going on. I had no answers. Hell, I didn't even have questions. Everybody who met me say the same thing. I'm just me. And that's how I took it. Like, even though after 20, I was 22 when I actually first did the research that triggered that something could be wrong with me. I remember an incident that happened on I think my 33rd birthday. And Ken actually was there when this actually happened. My girlfriend at the time, and Ken was actually there when this happened. I didn't know what was going on. Now I know it as soon as it's about to start. I know every sense, I know every trigger, and I'm still learning them. Like I realize that it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes my reactions go off of good things as well. But as far as being trapped, as far as being imprisoned in it, as far as being conscious of it, my latest episode that I had happen at work, a lot of people seen it happen. And I was aware of it. I was, but I was only aware as I was on the outside looking in for a brief amount of time. After that, for the endurance of it, I don't remember what happened. I had people tell me what happened. Like, I remember in and out, like consciousness is like an in and out. And like the girl, I guess, who was trying to help me and talk to me, and the guy that was trying to help me and talk to me, I didn't know who they were. And these are people I talk to all the time. I didn't know who they were. I recognized the guy, but the girl, I didn't recognize her. And this is somebody I talk to. This is somebody I know. But after the fact, I talked to both of them, and they told me what they experienced with me. This happened probably about 9 or 10 months ago. But before that, like, yeah, I'm aware and I have no control over it. Once it starts, I have an idea of how to bring it back down on my own now. So it's like, it's not control, but it's steering. You know what I'm saying? It's being in the passenger seat holding the steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I guess I look at it now, is that I might not be able to 100% control it while it's happening, but I can steer it now. I can bring it down a lot faster than I used to be, because I've had them go on for days. I've had them go on for hours. And I can't stop it from going on for hours, but I can stop it from going on for days. So yeah, it's like being in a window. It's like being in a window with your hands on the window and not being able to do anything, but being able to yell and tell somebody to do this or tell somebody to do that, but not having that full control, not knowing if they're going to actually do what you said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's pretty much my outlook from what I've experienced and shit like that.
Two Country or a Hero? Did y'all have anything? Did y'all want input on that question?
Well, now say it like this. I'm kind of still dealing with my own demons as well. Guess I'm gonna put that out there on the ledge. I never really got over the fact that my mom passed at a young age. So I've been dealing with that for a while. What I do is I just kind of stay busy. I think that's where me working a lot falls in place. And I just come home and crash and repeat every day.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years. Just trying to stay busy. And then when I get hemmed up or be by myself, I start thinking about it a little bit too much, where it start playing like visions in my head.
See, tragedy can be just as bad as mental health.
Yeah. So I never really got over that, but I ain't never really talked to nobody about it. And that shit is hard to deal with. That's why I don't talk about it. That's what I've been trying to tell my sister and my brother. They trying to like cram it all down my throat at once.
That's because you was more close to your mama than they was.
No, the thing is, when tragedy happens, you can't force anybody to get over it. They're going to do it in their own time.
Yeah, I mean, but it's much worse when you're the person that's closer to that person than others are.
And so it might take them even longer. It most likely would take them even longer.
So
and a person can't really do nothing but respect that.
Yeah, so I can see, that he can't get over it because he was closer to her. He like, he like looked out for her. He did everything that a son's supposed to do when mom's supposed to need help or whatever. So he was way much more closer to her and more caring towards her than the other two was. So it's a given that he's going to take it harder.
So I guess that answers y'all question why I'm always working, I'm always tired. It's kind of hard running from that every day.
But I don't know, because I dealt with certain demons or whatever, and eventually you're gonna find out like running it's not gonna do anything for you. It'll give you temporary solace or whatever you're looking for, but until you actually get some help or try to figure out how to actually get over it and deal with it, it's just going to get worse, especially the older you get, and the weaker your mental state get.
Because it builds up.
It's gonna come over you. It's gonna take over you. So I would suggest trying to heal from it, and not necessarily get over it, because that was your mom. So I'm never going to tell you to get over it, stuff like that, but figure out a way, that you can get past it and still, hold her memory and the memories that you had of her dear to your heart, but make it less physically taxing on yourself.
Yeah.
Because working ain't gonna do it, because the problem with work is it's gonna end some point of the day. So like always being at work is not gonna be the key, because then if you always be at work, then that takes you away from other things. That takes you away from spending time with your kids, your wife, other things that you're trying to do. So you don't want to kind of like drown yourself in work because you don't want to think about the passing of your mother. But then that takes you away from everything else that you are other obligations in your life, and other enjoyments in your life. So you want to kind of like figure out a nice balance of trying to deal with it, because it's a part of life, and it's sad when it happens, and it can be devastating the most when it happens. But you still gotta realize that you still got like other reasons to live for as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and another thing that's fucking my head up is a lot of my peers around me is dropping dead. That shit is fucking me up too.
Yeah.
When I turned 33, I started to think, I'm like, God damn, man, shit, I'm close to death right now. We had people I went to school with passing out and not waking up the next day and all that shit. That shit be fucking my head up, man.
Yeah, I mean, like,
look, man, just so you know, you're 33. At 40 years old, we really only had half of our lifespan, dude.
Yeah,
like never think that you're getting close to death because you're, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's not really the age, you know what I'm saying, for dying like that.
Yeah, man. I just turned 37. I ain't been getting shit but bad news ever since.
Yeah, but like you know, when you think about it that way, you kind of like bringing it on to yourself because the older you get, the more you gotta realize you gotta take care of yourself more and more than what you did when you was 20. So the older you get, there's things that you have to either stop doing, limit, or there's things that you need to start doing, as far as your health goes. Because when you get up in age, you want to kind of like understand what your body is like, what your mind is like, the things that you need to do, to improve yourself in your health physically and mentally. You know what I mean? Like you might not can't eat the same stuff that you used to do when you was younger. So you're gonna have to change that up. You might need to sleep more than what you used to do. You need to, just figure out how to tailor made, like your nutrition, your exercise regimen, and different stuff like that to kind of improve your health and maintain your health the older you get.
Now, I've been reading up on karate, taekwondo, and all that kind of stuff. That stuff it mentally fixes you. But I don't know if I can do a high kick. Yeah, I don't know if I got a high kick in me though.
Come on, man. You've been
No,
talking about
dude.
doing
Listen.
What
If
about
you're
yoga?
looking for,
Yoga is very helpful.
that's what I'm saying. Yoga or just
I read
meditation in general.
Buddhist, anything spiritual like Buddhist, anything that's
Now,
that's
I've
around
studied
like
Buddhism, and that shit is dope. So
anything around
recommend that.
meditation and self-centering yourself. So you got yoga, which also helps you out physically too. You got Buddhists they give you a nice spiritual balance, and just stuff like that. Just take out time for yourself. Find you a nice quiet corner sometimes and take a breather.
Ain't nothing wrong with just going out into the forest, sitting down, getting some quiet time, jerk your dick, and just really become one with the earth.
Okay.
And G's on first.
Yes, he is, man. Strongly. Jerk your dick.
I was waiting for it to happen, and you did not disappoint me. Okay.
I actually think that was a double play. What you think?
Yeah, let's put him on second.
Why
Welcome to the
Wheels-
ledge where you get advice and dick.
But yeah, man. So my next question. What you about to say something, Matt?
The statement was real, though. Even though it sounded funny, it's a real statement because regardless of how you look at it, jerking off is a relief. You know what I'm saying? It's a relief, and it brings anxiety. It brings anxiety down.
It was real up to the point you talking about jerking off in the forest preserve, but
no,
y'all ain't never did that.
Lay on the floor.
You're not getting any points. If you
y'all
double
never jerked
down
off
on
in the forest preserve,
nope.
I don't think that's legal.
There's a lot of things we did that wasn't legal.
It's not a question. Legal is not even a word.
I had sex in a forest preserve.
I had sex in forest preserve.
Legal is more of a suggestion.
Oh.
But yeah,
I haven't did it, but I will.
I just
I might just do it just because I've already brought it up. I might as well. I would hate to look like a faker.
All right. So what?
This motherfucker.
So locally, bro.
I'm going to answer this as honestly as possible. I am a brick wall. there is no personal information that's really going to get out about me, and that's in anything. I don't know, man. I'm kind of with Ronnie, man. Ever since my mom passed, probably going on 2 years now. For me, the only time I feel at peace is when I'm traveling somewhere. That's just me. That's how I take my mental breaks, and it keeps me from fucking just snapping. Because when you have to deal with idiots, and I mean the general public, every day, and now I get more days off. I was like Ronnie, man. I worked 5 days a week, man, all day, every day. I was on salary, no overtime, 12 hours a fucking day. And the only time I had off was Sunday. So it was either sleep or go somewhere. And then finally I was like, yo, I got to leave this shit alone. This shit's going to kill me. So I got me a job where I got more days off, fewer hours, making about the same. It's about the same, except for I get overtime now, so it's probably a little more. Um, for me, like I said, I had to traveling is the only thing that really works for me. Like when I'm on the road, I'm headed somewhere. That really helps me.
Yeah, because nature.
Maybe I got a mental. Maybe it is a mental. Is there a mental condition where you can't stay in one place? Like I get cabin fever quickly.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta look that up.
mean, it goes with other mental conditions. Yeah, like
I get cabin.
that can be a part of a mental condition. It doesn't necessarily
Yeah, a
mean
lot
it
of
is,
people
but it could
just
be.
a lot of people just got to move
I get
around.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
get
just
cabin.
like can't stay in one place. I know plenty of people like that.
I get cabin fever quickly. Like, dude, if I'm in the house for a month, and if I'm in the same place for a month and I haven't went anywhere outside of that place, I'm wound up.
Mine is more of a pattern. If I start going outside every day, then I'm gonna be comfortable going outside every day. If I start sitting in the house every day, then I'm gonna be comfortable sitting in the house every day. I get into patterns. And once I get into one, it takes something to break it. And that's usually where a problem comes in at. It's anytime I'm breaking a pattern, a problem happens.
I feel like that way too when patterns are broken, as well as I don't like going out more than twice a week. If I go out more than twice a week, then I have issues. And then I also have a problem with sensory overload. Like if my senses get overload, I just like be ready to lose my shit. Like I need time to like just not hear anything, not see anything, and like when I was working at Fry's, dealing with people all day, every day, and I was on salary
It
there.
builds up a level of anxiety.
Yeah, I was on salary there, and before I went salary, I used to be there all the time, you know, because I did enjoy. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy working there, but then after a while, it just became too much, and then the point when I became salary, and when I finally understood how salary worked, every chance I got, I was leaving. I was getting the fuck out of there. I was just like, so I send my supervisor to lunch early, just so I can leave when he get back from lunch. So, and that's how bad it got. I got tired of talking to people. I had started drinking way more than that I normally did because like talking to people and just and then the overhead radio. I think that's what triggered a lot of it was that music, steady playing over and over again, and it's just
Dude,
like
Christmas music. I be want to kill somebody when that Christmas music come on.
tell me about it. If you want to create a serial killer, turn on Christmas music. Fastest way to turn somebody very homicidal. Because I would like when the Christmas season came around, that Christmas music had to play. I wasn't great to deal with because that music would just do other stuff to your mental and shit. Yeah.
I came home mad for no reason.
Hell yeah. And
Danielle, I got a question for you. You work with the public. You ever realize how
Yes,
stupid people are?
unfortunately.
Like,
Every
does
day.
it?
Every day.
But do you have to listen to Christmas music though? Couple stupid
I
people.
work for a Catholic facility, so
Yeah,
not only do I
yeah.
have to hear the Christmas music, I have to hear the gospel music as well.
If you people
That's
don't
great.
do this, if you don't work in the public, take stupid people and put them on top of Christmas music. Oh my goodness, dude! I didn't even want to celebrate Christmas. I ain't gonna lie. Almost kicked over my Christmas tree when I got home.
And I don't know about y'all, but go ahead, Two Country.
I was just going to say, the people that work on Black Friday is essential.
Oh yeah,
That's why I'm glad I ain't working no more.
I'm saying, man, 'cause I fucking quit on the spot. I can't deal with all that ignorance.
Dude.
My thing is, why do you want to go to a store anyway? You can order stuff online.
Man,
I was
fighting
always
with
all
somebody
about
over
the
a
Cyber
TV.
Monday. Yeah,
Because I like
I've never actually. No, I've been to a store on Black Friday once.
because I'm the type of person that want to spend his money and have his product right in his motherfucking hand at that moment I exchange my money. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
I don't like ordering shit. When I spend my money, I want the product right in front of me right then and there.
I don't go shopping on Black Friday because I know it sucks to work on it. So that's why I never went on Black Friday. I go like Saturday or Thursday.
But as me working in retail, I understand that Black Friday is a sham anyway because most of the deals that be going on up before Black Friday be damn near the same ones that happen on Black Friday.
Not only that, I later was doing research. This was last summer. Doing research, but doing my research, I ran into information about stores. They actually make particular products that's sold on Black Friday. Like, let's just say a full spec TV that costs $700. They'll take that same TV, but take half the specs out of it, and then sell it for $400 on Black Friday. And that TV is specifically to be sold on for Black Friday. You know, like they have bullshit merchandise that they put out just for Black Friday. You know,
That's why
a lot of companies do it. I know Panasonic, Samsung, yes, Walmart. All of these companies actually do it with, and it's most popular with electronics, obviously.
That Black Friday jewelry ain't real.
People don't know because it's not like they're counting the ports on the side of their TV. Like, oh, this only got one port when it normally will have 6 or 7. You know, they not counting that shit. So they don't notice that the TV they're buying is lacking, or the computer they're buying is lacking, you know.
Mm-hmm. All they see is the price.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll approach a Roku season in about the next 1 or 2 months.
Yeah, Amazon Alexa, Roku, Google Home, any Google Home products, all that shit is gonna be what's gonna be selling out. Any video game shit, like it's just like the same.
The PlayStation 5 is coming out soon, right? It's coming out this holiday season.
I believe so.
Something else. Somebody gets shot over with. So, you know that's gonna be a fucking clusterfuck. Somebody finna get hurt.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
They always do, unfortunately.
Electronics, because it's gonna fuck up. Talk about that and spend $700 for something that's gonna break in about 2-3 months.
That's because people want to be the first people to have it. That's all it is. You pay the extra premium price just to be the first to have it and be the first to have to send it back because it's defective. I mean, that's you just want to be the first. That's it. But
yeah, I'm gonna wait for that PS5.
I'm gonna be on the PS4.
Yeah, nah.
So when they start making games for the PS4, then I'll jump on the 5.
That's pretty much what I did. But yeah, so one more question for the set before we close out. And the question is, do you fault anybody that elect not to be in a relationship with a person with mental illness? Hero, you can go first.
I applaud them. They actually being honest with the person. I think it's better to just be honest outright. Like, I don't think I could deal with this than to get into a relationship. You create an attachment or some type of feelings, and then you leave, and then that's like abandonment, right? Not only do you got that mental issue, then you got abandonment and rejection on top of that, which can make it a lot worse.
What about you two, Country?
Like I said earlier, you know, if you got into the situation, the least you could do is have a little bit of patience, and you know, work with the person, communicate a little bit more, and you never know, man. It can turn out to be the best shit you ever did.
All right,
that's why I'm with that.
Danielle.
I think Danielle went to sleep.
Oh,
She said,
no, Danielle is not sleeping. Not yet, anyway.
She woke up.
For me, the deciding very woke.
I be doing
for
that.
me, the deciding factor. Okay, for me, the deciding factor is this person trying to deal with their mental issue? Are they currently in treatment? Are they currently doing something to make their situation better? Or are they just not dealing with it? It's a lot easier to be with someone who's in the process of fixing themselves and being honest than just dealing with someone that's hiding from the issue and not getting the help that they need. Like, I can't help you if you don't want to help yourself.
Right.
And the main goal of a relationship is to find your mate and build with that person. You know, we're in our 30s and almost 40s now. We're not dating just for entertainment. You're dating to find your soulmate.
True.
So that's the deciding factor for me. It's like, are you working towards, your situation, or are you just gonna not accept it and, just self-destruct it at some point?
Okay. G.
I mean, personally, I ain't blame nobody. I can't blame nobody that don't want to be in a relationship with somebody with a mental health issue because, I mean, some people ain't equipped to deal with that shit. Some people ain't equipped to even understand that shit. Some people think they better than that shit. Some people just fucked up in their own way, and they know that that's a bad idea. Um, at the end of the day, I'm like, I know I'm hard to deal with sometimes. I'm real easy to deal with as long as things are smooth. But if I get irritated or things like that, it's just once I get mad, yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue for everybody in the room. Like, I don't get mad that much, though. It's hard to make me mad because I don't give a fuck enough to get mad. Even when people think I'm mad, I'm usually not mad. I might overreact to certain things, but I'm not mad. Anybody that's ever actually seen me mad knows what that looks like. And it's not something you're going to pull up out of me, because to make me mad, that means I give a fuck about something that you're doing. That means I really actually give a fuck. And anybody that know me, to make me give a fuck, you got to be pretty fucking close to me to make me give a fuck. Like, I dismiss so many things that it's ridiculous. Like, the biggest events to people, I'll forget about them tomorrow because I didn't care. That's just the way I am. It's part of what's wrong with me, or what people look at as what's wrong with me. So not everybody want to deal with that. Not everybody want to be around a person who, if you piss me off the wrong way, I'll become this piece of ice. No, everybody want to deal with that shit. And then it's not just a piece of ice. It's a truly not giving a fuck. Like, you have to convince me to give a fuck at that point. So not everybody ain't equipped to deal with that shit. And then it's a lot of people out there that's a lot worse off than I am. That's a lot of people out there who can't deal with a person with mood swings, for example, a person with the bipolar, the schizophrenia, the mood disorders. Now, those are hard to deal with. Those are hard. If you're a sensitive person, then you should not be with a person that have those type of disorders, man, because these are people that hurt your feelings and not even trying to, what they say, the people that do the worst things with the best intentions. Yeah. Now, then we got to deal with the level of intellect. One of the worst things you can deal with is a mental illness on top of a level of intellect, because then you deal with things like God complex. And those are some of the worst people to actually have to deal with, because you don't know if their intentions for you are the best or not. You don't know if they're doing things for you or they're only doing things for themselves. Like, you have no idea, because they know how to play the game. And if they're only playing it for themselves, you got a serious problem on your hand. And that's not something, I don't care if you're in a mental illness relationship, quote, air quote, normal. If you're dealing with a person that has a superiority complex and a mental illness, you're dealing with a serious, serious problem. And the only way to get through something like that, if that person understands what they are. Not everybody that has a superiority complex understand that they have one. You know what I'm saying? So if you see, and it's levels to this shit, basically. So it's levels to this shit. So no, I definitely cannot blame a person that's knowledgeable about mental illness. I cannot blame them if they don't want to be in a relationship with a person that has mental illnesses or something like that.
Shout out to G. Man, jacks off in the forest and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
that's what I gathered from this whole.
Yeah.
You said, did anybody want to get on a ledge with you?
Oh, man, jacking off in the forest in camo and not giving a fuck.
Camo, nigga, I'm talking about in a buff.
This nigga's talking about he ain't trying to blend in, he trying to stand out.
Poor little baby deer.
All I'm
Poor
saying is,
Bambi.
it's a lot of wood in the forest. Why not grow another tree?
That is
And then who
fuck.
knows? Your nut might make some special fucking trees.
You give a true
You never
meaning
know.
to a wet rabbit.
I ain't fucking no rabbit.
Yeah, that tree
You
gonna
see
be,
this? You
that
see
tree
this?
gonna be full of
You see this?
nuts.
Duke was
Wait,
right.
a what?
Duke was
What?
right about the big yo. Duke was definitely right.
And you see
Talking about
who's doing it. You see who's doing it.
Duke was right, man. This is what he's talking about.
But
You
y'all niggas
scared
crazy.
Duke. You scared Duke off.
Hey, like I said, not everybody's equipped to handle this.
But yeah,
Obviously, y'all are.
y'all niggas crazy. But yeah, you really can't fault nobody for wanting to be in a relationship, that not wanting to be in a relationship with a person with mental illness, because that can create a mental illness on themselves as well. So
Yes, true, very true.
It can also trigger your own mental illness if you're dealing with someone that's not,
That's what he's saying.
they have
That's what he's
mental
saying.
illness.
exactly. No, I was saying they could create one, and to her point, she was saying they could trigger your own.
I would look at them as one and the same.
Yeah, because just somebody that probably could be mentally strong, and then the stuff that they had to go through with dealing with a person with mental illness can create one.
Because
And
a trauma can create bipolar at any age.
Yep.
Which
And I know about
blew
that
my
from
mind.
personal experience.
That blew my mind. I thought you was born with bipolar, and no, not everybody. Actually, not most people are born with bipolar.
Yeah, so
It stems from PTSD, actually, in most cases.
Yeah, so like in the name of good mental health, you should always know what you can.
Hey, what's that? Who that?
Who that in the background?
Background noise.
What we talking about?
I don't know. Somebody shit loud.
Like, what
I don't think it's me.
Here?
Sound like somebody watching a news podcast or some shit.
Oh no, I'm watching porn.
No, you're not. I would have noticed.
You're watching porn in a live stadium? What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
Now
First before it's not a stadium?
He watching esports.
He's not watching porn. I would have noticed. Like,
But
there's nothing wrong with watching porn during a podcast.
I mean, if EA Sports gets you off, sweetheart, do you by all means.
I know EA Sports has been on porn. No, you ain't check it out yet. But this ain't EA, it's 2K.
You playing in the PC? You playing in the PC?
2K stands for two dicks. It's a gangbang.
Big joke.
I'm on first.
Yeah, I'm watching these cops in Minnesota got a gun trained on this car, black dudes, and they know they ain't got no gun in the car, but dude won't put the damn gun down.
I stopped watching news. I stopped watching current videos. I stopped watching everything because of what Ken was talking about earlier, sensory overload. Mine gets real bad. Right, and I deal with one particular sensory overload every day. It's light. Light bothers me beyond what I can explain to a person. When I was a kid, they thought it was like a joke because I kept telling people I didn't like light. When I got older, I found out that my eyes was like overly sensitive to light. So I could see really good in the dark. I mean, what people look at as dark, I can still see in. But light bothers me to an extent whereas I have my windows blacked out. I have always, at everywhere I move, like I have the windows blacked out. I never turn lights on in the crib. I work in the dark. Any chance I get, I turn the lights out at work, which is a problem for everybody else except for me. I hate light. Like I really do. And now that they've changed, they've cut out the daytime savings, which means we have light longer. What used to change in the wintertime, it won't change now. Now we're going to have longer days of light, period. And that bothers me so fucking bad. Like I was really hoping that they was going to let it switch one more time before they cut it out. But no, we're stuck on this time frame with the longer daylight right now. And that shit pisses me off.
I got a question for you, G. You short, you hairy, you don't like daylight, and you can't eat after midnight. Are you a Magua?
Possibly. When I was a kid, Magwas was my favorite. I always wanted one.
You a gizmo motherfucker?
Oh,
you young motherfucker. Look that shit up.
Hey, Gizmo is that dude, though.
gonna
Hey,
explain
he
to
got
you.
it in with his little Rambo ass.
Let me explain to you, young motherfuckers, what Gizmo is.
Yeah, we ain't got time to explain that shit to nobody.
Well,
If they don't,
just Google
they
it.
might not know Mogwai, but if they don't know Gizmo, then fuck them.
Just Google it.
I ain't got to tell them Gremlins on the real.
That's what you got Google for. Just Google it.
Right. No, because if they Google, they're gonna come up with Gizmodo, which is a tech site, and we're not talking about that. Or it's gonna say Gizmo as in a tech device.
All right, Google Gremlin. Google Gremlin,
There you go.
and you'll find out what Gizmo is.
Google Brain, Google Stripe,
All right,
Google Gremlins, Google Gizmo. Any one of them will get you Gremlins.
all right. Quick fire question before we go. I just want to know: do anybody else get triggered by repetitive pop music?
Yes.
I don't listen to it, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't listen to it. I try not to listen to the radio as much as possible.
I don't listen to it. No, I don't listen to it. But at Fry's they played pop music for a long time. That's how I found out that repetitive ass music triggers the shit out of me.
That's why you always shop with your Beats headphones.
I can't have headphones on when I'm at work, dude. I was working there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I mean, you worked there, so you should have.
I think,
sorry.
yeah.
You should have found a way
I
to get
realized
that
that-
radio system and change the
Hey.
channel. That's what I would have did.
Hey, when I found out how to do this shit, I did it. Especially when I got keys to the room when I became a manager. I changed that station every damn time. But yeah, I realized that type of music changes my mood dramatically because it pisses me off so bad that they constantly keep saying the same shit for like 3 minutes in a row. So
See, and modern music is a lot more repetitive than older music, so I can definitely understand that.
mm-hmm. And yeah, so
I do get triggered about stupid people, but that just means I get triggered
I
every
think that's
day.
across the board, ain't it? Everybody
think
get
yeah.
triggered by stupid people, right?
Yeah. Fuck those people.
Very much so.
Yeah,
Except
Very much
yeah, I hate a stupid
except for all the
question. I just give a
geniuses who
stupid
listen to this
answer.
podcast. All you geniuses listen to this podcast, you're beautiful. But if your friend don't listen, fuck them. Bitches.
Oh, man.
Dumb naked chicks up on X videos don't trigger me though. I think it's because I'm focused on something other than how stupid they are.
You said X video, so I think
G's on third.
that just throws it
I'm
all
going
out.
for a home run. I told you. I
But who
technically
still
already
uses
got my
X
home run.
videos though?
Huh? What?
I said who still uses X videos?
Oh,
though?
you
It's so many
what do you
outside
use
you
X
just
videos?
cussed them out.
No,
You just
no.
cussed them
When
out,
do you use
Danielle.
X videos? What else is there?
No.
I mean,
It's-
it
we're not
depends
getting
on
into
what you're
more discussion.
into.
I'm into a lot
We
of
can
shit.
have
X
it.
videos on their own. Like, tell me what you got better than X videos. Please don't say Pornhub.
Don't.
I like red. I like red too personally for myself, for my taste.
I don't have near the amount of videos that an X videos got, but RedTube actually comes from X videos.
Don't do it. He's gonna get into some shit that's
Oh,
gonna make you
Lord.
disgusted. I'm telling you, leave it alone.
All right, before this conversation gets any more, whatever.
Variety. I think it's cool that a girl watch porn, but variety is the best. And the two with the most variety is Pornhub and X videos. And a lot of the videos from Pornhub actually come from X videos. So
I'm just saying, if I can't watch panda porn, I can't fuck with the site.
panda porn.
Panda porn?
Let's talk about this.
All right.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
We found that little dark hole in it.
Panda porn like pandas.
We done finally found that little dark hole in the
No,
side of the wall.
that's a brand.
And we crawling in that shit.
That sounds like a black man right there.
I gotta look up panda porn. That's fucked up.
Hey, he's like physically looking it up right now. I just know it.
Let's see.
Have me a good night. Hold on.
Panda pornography refers generally to movies depicting mating pandas intended to promote sexual arousal. Oh, wow. Panda porn on YouTube.
We done.
What a twist. Mental health to
no, we gotta slow down, man.
Okay, so
You-
we finna
Keep
close
hitting
out.
that home run for me, okay?
Coming out. God
Keep
bless.
hitting
Good
that
night.
home run.
We won't be back tomorrow, but we appreciate this.
Hold on.
Appreciate y'all coming in.
Panda porn
I'm
to
losing
boost
that.
male sex drive.
Oh
Wow.
God! All right. So
Wow. Girl, you into some kinky shit.
thank
Panda
you guys for
porn
listening. We
an
enjoy
attempt to
y'all.
teach
This is the
you to
land,
make
and we out this motherfucker. Peace.
Turn that shit off.
Panda porn and speed dating key to specie survival.